Hey guys, so today I am here to do an updated top 5 favorite cloth pad shops video. So I made this video originally about a year ago, maybe more than a year ago now, and I went back and I rewatched the old one, and it occurred to me that my preferences, the styles that I gravitate toward now are completely different. So not to say that there's anything wrong with the amazing makers that I mentioned in that first video. They still are absolutely amazing, and unfortunately I think several of them are actually no longer selling pads. They're still all fabulous. They're still all fantastic. But my preferences have changed. I feel like I've gotten to know what works and what doesn't work for me a little bit better. So I have an updated list for you, and these are all completely new. None of these were mentioned in my last video. So if you guys have any questions once you've checked this video out, definitely let me know. But all of the links to the shops that I mentioned here are going to be listed in the description box. So without further ado, and in no particular order, here are my top 5 favorite cloth pad shops. Okay, so we are going to start with my best friend's shop, Gaiter Cloth. So Anna, the maker, she and I are really, really close friends, and she and I have so many of each other's pads, it's kind of ridiculous. I have almost 30 pads from Anna. Oh, that one's upside down. I have almost 30 pads from Anna in my stash, and I love every single one of them. I gravitate towards her pads every single cycle, and in between cycles, I wear a lot of Anna's pads as liners. So she is somebody who has a lot of different styles to offer. She has serged pads, and if you're not familiar with what that means, this is a serge. And then she also does the more traditional turned and top stitched, and that's a turned and top stitch. So that's the difference. This is a flared serge, and then this is a contour, so it's a little bit more narrow. So if you're looking for something that has a lot more coverage and a wider flare, she's got you covered. If you're looking for something that's more narrow and for a straighter style pad, she's got you covered. I don't have her wrap wing style, but she does have a really nice wrap wing if you're somebody who is really concerned about bleeding off the edge. She definitely has a size and shape for that as well. I think that those go up to 10 inches. I just don't have any in my stash at this time. But definitely Gaiter Cloth, check her out. She does the vast majority of her business on, in fact, she's all of her business on Facebook. So her Facebook group will be linked down below. If you're not in her group already, definitely go join. I would highly, highly recommend Anna's stuff. All right, so the next shop that I wanted to talk to you guys about is Homestead Emporium. I love Homestead Emporium, more specifically the Ulti Mini line of pads. There's an extra small, there's the Ulti Mini, there's the Ulti Max Slim, and there is the Ulti Max. So those 4 shapes are the ones that I love from Homestead Emporium. This is the Ulti Max, or the Ulti Mini Extra Small. This is the 10-inch from that line, and it's more moderate coverage. I love, love, love these pads. They're all slightly asymmetric, and I am a front bleeder, so I typically need coverage more to one side than the other, and these are all great for people who have a directional bleeding pattern, whether it's to the front or to the back. These are really great. This is the 12-inch heavy. This is the Ulti Mini, and it looks like this snapped up. And then I also have one of my Ultimax Slims here for you. This thing is massive. I think this is 15 inches. Maybe it might be 14 inches, but this thing is huge, and I wear this as an overnight. I have like 3 of these, I think. I love these for overnight. They're my favorites. Homestead, at least with this particular design, it has a serged edge, and these are all OBV topped and WinPro backed, and her OBV is kind of what she's made a name for. They're amazing. So Homestead is based in Canada, and they, at least at the time of this video, Homestead Emporium does not ship to the US. So I am actually going to link the Homestead Co-op on Facebook, which is, if you don't live in Canada, you can order pads through the co-op and then they're shipped to you from a third party. If you do live in Canada though, I will link the actual Homestead Emporium shop. They typically have ready to ship pads available all the time. So if you live in Canada, you can definitely get a hold of your Homestead stuff right away. If you don't live in Canada, it does take a little while to get stuff through a co-op, but it's definitely worth the wait. Okay, so next up is Kitty Cat Cloth, which is kind of funny because I don't like cats. but I love kitty cat cloth figures, right? So Kitty Cat Cloth has a specialty range of cat-shaped menstrual pads. So I like the Sit-In Kitten, which is great for us directional bleeders. They're just, look at how cute they are. Again, I don't like cats, but I love these pads, especially this one. Look at that colorway. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. But snapped up, these particular pads look like this. I love a narrow snapped width, or gusset, or whatever you want to call it. And these have a super, super narrow, I think it's maybe it's either 2.5 or less, but they work really well for me, and I love these pads. I have 2 more actually on the way that I just purchased the other day. So Monica is the maker over at Kitty Cat Cloth. She dyes all of her own fabrics. She ships like crazy fast. She stocks almost every single week. So even if her stuff sells out fast, she always has more stuff. So you're able to constantly go back and try for pads if you miss them the first time. I think her pads are amazing. I think that they're really consistent. I think that they're high quality. She uses really great materials, and Monica is just, she's hilarious. I think she's really fun. I definitely would recommend joining her Facebook group. She does sell on Etsy, but if you join her Facebook group, you get to talk to her and get to know her a little bit. She's hilarious. So I think that you guys would really like, just being a part of her group and getting to interact with her. But definitely Kitty Cat Cloth, and links to Etsy and Facebook will be down in the description box below. Okay, so pad shop number 4, and again, these are not in any particular order, but the 4th shop that I am mentioning in this video is all Fluffed Up. I have probably close to somewhere between 12 and 15 all Fluffed Up pads in my stash. Rebecca, I don't know if she like pours holy water on her sewing machine, or if she has like incense burning while she sews, or if she, I don't know, prays to the pad gods before she, turns the sewing machine on. But her pads are perfect, like perfect. And she doesn't do easy patterns. Look at that. First off, it's Game of Thrones. It's the Khaleesi. Yeah. But look at that design. Look at the wings even. I mean, these are not easy pads to sew, but when she does them, they come out perfect every single time. It drives me crazy because my pads are never this perfect. I mean, just look at her. And the Winpro she uses is super, super thin. This is turned and top stitched, and look at how thin that is. They're just perfect. I mean, I've said it countless times to many different people. I have never seen pads as beautiful as the pads that Rebecca makes. They're perfect. They are gorgeous. She even makes piqué, which is this topper here, look perfect. I mean, most people, you can kind of tell where the needle has gone in just because it's a fabric that shows flaws. It's perfect. It's freaking perfect. I mean, and this is a moderate. Look how thin that is. I don't know why people fold them in half, but if you do that test, look at how thin that is. They're perfect. They're absolutely amazing. They're gorgeous. They're fabulous. She does her selling on Facebook. I'm going to link her group below. And I definitely would say that her pads are a little bit challenging to get a hold of just because they are so perfect. Lots of people want them. But give it some time. Definitely check out her group. Be sure that you turn the alerts on because her stuff goes fast, but it's amazing. And if you are looking for pretty pads, for gorgeous pads, she definitely is somebody who has got you covered with the perfection, the craftsmanship side. I know no one better. I mean, they're amazing. So I think I've said enough. All Fluffed Up. Okay, and the last shop that I'm going to highlight today is Royal Maze Fluff. I have so many pads from Melissa, the maker at Royal Maze. I can't even tell you. Oh my gosh. So Royal Maze is a shop that has really quick turnaround time and a lot of accessibility. Even though she is in pretty high demand, you can typically get a hold of pads from Royal Maze relatively easily just because Melissa is like a machine. She sews like all the time. I've done group orders from her where she has posted the group order and I've had the pads to me in like under a week. And I don't know anyone who sews that fast. But she does an amazing job. I mean, first off, the topper. I'm an Alice fan. You guys all know I'm an Alice fan. Look at it. Isn't that cute? But she has a combination of shapes that she's drawn up herself and shapes that, you know, you can get lots of patterns either for purchase or for free online. And so she has kind of a combination. So she's got a lot of different options. Here's this shape. This is the Royale. I really like this one. This is one of my favorites. And I have it slightly shorter in the Sailor Moon print as well. And then she also has more basic shapes. This is just her kind of more traditional style. I love this one. I did a video on my Facebook group probably about a week ago, and I called these llamas. So I just want to make the record clear. I know these are goats, all right? It was late. I'd had a long day. I apologize that I called them llamas. I know they're goats. All right, so Royal Maze and Melissa is definitely a great resource for unique prints, for hard to find prints, and if you are somebody who wants your pad now, if you want instant gratification, if you want somebody who's going to make your pads quickly, Melissa will make your pad quickly and you'll get it and you'll love it because her stuff is thin, it's floppy, it's well made. She has lots of really unique toppers, pop culture stuff, movies, music, TV, you name it. She does OBV, she does knit, she does PK, she does everything. So if you're looking for something unique, something fast, definitely check Melissa out. I will link her, I think she does a big cartel and a Facebook, and I will link both of those down below. Okay, so those were my top 5 recommended cloth pad shops. Now, there is one more thing that I do want to say before I let you guys go. So, if you know me, then you might know that I also do have my own cloth pad shop. Now, I choose not to advertise or, you know, promote myself on these videos, but I do want to just mention that I am also one of my favorite makers. And it's not because I want to talk about my shop. I'm not even going to mention my shop's name. But I want to highlight the fact that in my, journey with cloth pads, I have sewn a lot of my own pads myself. I have designed patterns myself. And I wear these pads and I love these pads because I invested the time. I struggled with my sewing machine so that I could learn how to make these for myself. I have gone from very, very basic shapes to, my scallop pattern, which is a pain in the neck, but I love it so much. I think that it's extremely rewarding to make your own pads, and I would highly encourage, if you don't already know how to sew, or if you know how to sew but you've never made a cloth pad, there are tons of amazing sewing tutorials on YouTube. I would encourage you to sew for yourself. I mean, trust me, I am clearly an example of the fact that sewing for yourself does not mean that you're going to stop purchasing from other people. At least in my case, it wasn't. I feel like it's an extremely rewarding experience to put on a pad knowing that I made it, that I picked the placement for that topper. I struggled with that silly Win Pro and I, turned and I top stitched that sucker and I made it for myself. So I would definitely encourage you to learn how to sew and become your own favorite maker. I definitely would say that, if I weren't making this video for you guys, I probably would have included my own shop in there because I love the pads that I make. But I think that there is something that's different about making pads for yourself versus purchasing pads from other people. There's a customer service experience that you don't get, obviously, when you're making it for yourself. But then there's also that just ownership of it when you make it for yourself that makes it a very rewarding thing. So check out YouTube, figure out how to sew your own pads. I definitely would love to see the work that you do, and maybe one day I'll buy from you. I don't know. But definitely check out the description box below for all of the details on all of the cloth pad makers that I've shown in this video, and for the sewing tutorial that I used to learn how to make my own cloth, because I actually learned how to sew from a YouTube channel that focused on cloth pads. So you can too. So I will talk to you guys later, and thank you so much for putting up with this extremely long video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.